It weeds out those that really have a calling for it from those that don't. And it made me think to Jesus. Jesus coming forth and telling the children, the kingdom of heaven is within you. This is not an outside game. Everything is internal. I just spoke to this morning of Elijah going into the cave at Mount Horeb. And God saying, stand outside the cave. I'm going to pass by. And Elijah goes and does it. And many spirits come before Elijah. It's as if Elijah wasn't the only one that got the word from God. It's as if another entity intercepted the communication and knew what Elijah was doing and why he was doing it. And it immediately imposed itself in the middle of God and Elijah's situation and showed aspects of itself. And Elijah is sitting there looking. He's not acting. He's not doing anything. He's just observing. And he observes the earthquake, and he observes the fire, and he observes the wind, and he observes the small, still voice. And he does not make a determination on any of them until it resonated with him in his spirit. And that resonance that would establish the truth of what it was would come from inside of Elijah. That small, still voice didn't come as a whisper in his ear. That would be an outward projection. That would be like, did somebody just say something? You would think it came from outside of you. Is somebody outside talking? But when that small, still voice comes upon you, from within you, it's familiar. You've heard it before. No one can recreate that. Why? Because it's you. What we find here with this bullseye, varied realm kind of schematic that I'm showing you is a philosophy that the Egyptians would utilize quite extensively. This reminds me of those Russian dolls. What do they call them? The nesting dolls. Where you have one doll and then you create another doll that's just a little bit larger to it that looks exactly like it. And you encase that one doll in it, and then you get another doll that looks exactly like it, and you encase it in there. It's the same thing. These are what the Egyptians would consider varied aspects of one's own self. They were experts at creating these types of scenarios. They had it down to a science. Many of those mummies you see are mummified in coffins that resemble the Russian doll analogy that I just gave you, where you have one doll encased into another doll, encased into another doll, encased into another. And this would signify for the Egyptians the varied aspects of one's own soul and spiritual self. And the great work the Egyptians would consider to be the greatest work of an individual in their life is coming into the knowledge of and the management of all aspects of itself at the same time. Being able to realize the varied aspects and capabilities of one's own mind, body, and spirit. And being able to utilize each of these capabilities in whatever manner that they feel needful to inflict their will in the earth. Alchemy at its finest. Knowing each aspect of one's own self to a point that they can take portions of the aspects and intermingle them with one another to birth something new, a superpower, superhuman capabilities. All of this has to do with this circles inside of circles inside of circles. systems inside of systems inside of systems. I'm here to tell you that even today, we are standing and sitting, living within systems that are inside of systems, that are inside of systems, that are inside of systems. And there is no one man or woman on this planet that has a full grasp on the totality of them all. That is essentially what this man was saying in this interview.